Welcome to What Is. Today we're diving deep into the trenches to answer a question that sounds simple, but actually involves a creature that defies the laws of physics, biology, and common sense. What is the Mantis Shrimp? Imagine, if you will, a creature designed by a committee consisting of a professional boxer, a psychedelic artist, and a high-end military weapons engineer. That creature is the Mantis Shrimp. But right off the bat, we have a problem. The name is a lie. The Mantis Shrimp is not a mantis. It's also not a shrimp. It's a stomatopod, part of the lineage of crustaceans that branched off from the others around 340 million years ago. That means they were doing their thing before the first dinosaurs even thought about showing up. They've had plenty of time to specialize, and oh boy, did they specialize. There are about 450 species of mantis shrimp, and they range in size from a few centimeters to about 38 centimeters, roughly the size of a very angry, neon-colored sub sandwich. They live in tropical and subtropical waters, mostly hiding in burrows, and they spend their days either looking for something to kill or reimagining the physics of the universe. To understand what a mantis shrimp is, we have to look at their two most famous features, their eyes and their hands. Let's talk about the eyes first. Human beings are pretty proud of our vision. We have three types of color receptive cones in our eyes: red, green, and blue. Every sunset, every masterpiece painting, every neon sign you've ever seen is just a combination of those three colors. Dogs only have two. Butterflies have 5. But the mantis shrimp, that has 16. 16 color receptive cones. To a mantis shrimp, the world doesn't just look colorful. It looks like a multi-dimensional fever dream that we cannot comprehend. They see the ultraviolet. They see infrared. They can even see circular polarized light, something that no other animal on Earth is known to do. Their eyes are mounted on stalks and move independently. They can track two different objects at once in 360 degrees, while simultaneously analyzing the light spectrum for hidden predators or prey. Imagine if you could watch two different movies on two different screens while also being able to tell if someone was hiding behind the curtains based on the heat signature of their breath. That's just a Tuesday to the mantis shrimp. Scientists believe they use this incredible hardware to communicate through secret light signals that other predators can't see. It's like having a private, encrypted military-grade Wi-Fi signal, but built into your face. But as impressive as the eyes are, most people know the mantis shrimp for its punch. In the world of stomatopods, there are two main factions: the spearers and the smashers. The spearers are the ninjas. They have barbed, sharp appendages that they use to snag soft-bodied fish and shrimp with terrifying speed. It's classic slasher movie stuff. 1 second the fish is swimming, the next it's pinned by a set of serrated blades. But the smashers are the heavyweights. They have evolved a specialized dactyl club, a calcified bulbous appendage that they use to literally shatter their problems into pieces. If a smasher sees a crab, a clam, or a snail, it doesn't just try and find a weak spot in the shell. It just hits the shell until the shell stops existing. And it's not just a fast hit. It's one of the fastest movements in the animal kingdom. A mantis shrimp's punch accelerates at the same speed as a .22 caliber bullet. Their limbs move at 50 miles per hour underwater. In the time it takes for you to blink once, a mantis shrimp could have punched something 500 times. The physics here are actually insane. The movement is so fast that it creates something called a cavitation bubble. Because the punch is so rapid, it creates a localized zone of low pressure that causes the water to boil. When the bubble collapses, it releases a secondary shock wave. This means that even if the mantis shrimp misses the target, the shockwave alone can knock out its prey. When the bubble collapses, it also generates a tiny flash of light and a burst of heat that for a micro fraction of a second is roughly the temperature of the surface of the sun. Let that sink in. There's a shrimp in the ocean that hits things so hard it creates underwater fire and the heat of a star. If you were to put a large mantis shrimp in a standard glass aquarium, there's a very high probability it will simply punch its way through the glass, just to see what else is in the room. They are the only pets that require double-paneled high-density acrylic housing just because they are literally too much for standard physics. Now you might be wondering, if they hit things that hard, why don't their hands break? This is where evolutionary engineering becomes a miracle. The dactyl club is made of layers upon layers of chitin, arranged in a spiral or helicoid structure. This design acts as a shock absorber. When the club hits a rock-hard shell, the energy is dissipated through the layers, preventing cracks from spreading. In fact, the US military and aerospace engineers are currently studying the mantis shrimp's club structure to design better body armor for soldiers and more impact-resistant plating for spacecraft. We are learning how to survive high-velocity impacts from a 10-inch long rainbow crustacean. But what about their social lives? Are they just mindless killing machines? Well, mostly yes, but they have some surprisingly complex behaviors. Many species are monogamous, staying with the same mate for up to 20 years. They share a burrow, they raise their young together, and they defend their territory as a team. However, defending territory usually involves more violence. Mantis shrimp are notoriously grumpy neighbors. They engage in telson sparring, which is basically a ritualized wrestling match where they take turns hitting each other on their reinforced tail sections. It's the crustacean equivalent of who can take the most punches to the stomach. The one who gets tired first usually leaves the neighborhood. The life of a mantis shrimp is also one of constant danger, primarily when they molt. Like all crustaceans, they have to shed that hard outer shell to grow. During this time, the smashing club is soft and useless. A mantis shrimp during the molt is essentially a defenseless piece of sushi. They spend this time hiding deep in their burrows, sometimes blocking off the entrance with rocks, waiting for their new armor to harden. If they are found during this process, it's game over. Despite being a nightmare for crabs and snails, they are incredibly important to the reef ecosystem. Since they are apex predators of the microworld, they keep the populations of other crustaceans in check. They are also indicators of reef health. If the mantis shrimp are thriving, the reef is usually doing well. Humans have a complicated relationship with them. In some parts of the world, like Japan or Vietnam, they are a delicacy. In Japan it's called shackle, and is often served as sushi. However, fishermen generally hate them. If a mantis shrimp ends up in a net, it can slice through the mesh, kill the other fish in the hole, and even slice open fingers of an unwary fisherman. They earned the nickname thumb splitters for this very reason. Beyond the dinner table, we are looking at them for medical breakthroughs. Because their eyes can detect circular polarized light, which is something that cancerous tissue reflects differently than healthy tissue, scientists are developing mantis shrimp-inspired cameras. One day a surgeon might use a camera based on these eyes to detect the exact margins of a tumor that would be invisible to the human eye. So what is a mantis shrimp? It's an evolutionary outlier. It's a creature that sees more of the world than we ever will, and interacts with that world by punching it into oblivion. It's a biological miracle that holds the secrets to better armor, faster cameras, and perhaps even the cure for cancer. It's also a great reminder that if you're ever snorkeling and you see a very pretty, very colorful shrimp looking at you with two googly eyes, you should probably give it some space. You don't want to be the person who got knocked out by a piece of seafood. Thanks for watching this episode of What Is. Did we miss any crazy mantis shrimp facts? Do you think you could take one in a fight? Assuming it was the size of, say, a cat? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give us a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more fascinating looks into the world around us. Until next time, stay curious.